session of DesignWorks TV, we're going to be introducing you to the new FARO Quantum Max. We utilize in DesignWorks 2022 for SolidWorks. So it's super easy to scan with DesignWorks. It's one click. Select scan. Out of the box, you can take the default settings. DesignWorks will be scanning, creating a mesh live with auto cleanup. So you're going to simply tap the button on the FARO, the green button, and away we go. So you can see a mesh is being built real time. This is not a pretty picture with a bunch of dots that you have to go back in and do all that cleanup that you hear all these horror stories about. This is real-time scanning, creating a mesh. Notice on the right side of the screen, it's updating it, telling you how many triangles is in the mesh. So this part's got some different colors on even. The FARO Max is really good at that, multicolors and shiny parts. So you can see it looks like I'm just like spray painting and going down this. We also want to show the 8-axis table. This thing really increase your productivity because you can just rotate the part around instead of have to move all the way around it. So you can see in a few seconds we got most of this scanned. Just go back and forth. If you did want to stop, you can tap the green button to stop. You move where you want, but it's not like other products. You don't have to worry about overlapping and things or going in the wrong direction. As you're scanning, it has an auto cleanup session. Let's go back here and get this collector a little bit. Now to build this with our tubing module, we don't really need all the data of the tube. You know, as long as we have probably, I don't know, 90 degrees of it or so, we can build the tube from that data. Back here, if you want to do a surface on this, you could. We're going to scan this a little bit better. But you can see how flexible this is and how fast. Unless you've seen it live, you wouldn't believe you could actually do this as fast. And you don't have to worry about spending hours in that dark closet trying to clean all this up, because it's done. It's the real mesh. What you're seeing there is what you're going to work on. I'm going to turn it on an angle here to get some of these areas, but we probably have enough. Let's go build a tube once. So again, you can spin it around, look at it, or spin it on the screen. Those two center tubes, we probably have enough to show you how we're going to go ahead and build something. But if you want to be down here and get more data, you could. You don't have to worry about, oh, I can't overlap and I can't come back and forth. We'll spin it around here. On this view you're kind of looking at. The scanner does an excellent job at all these colors. Especially on this, it's shiny and dark, and that's what gives most lasers all kinds of problems. So let's go build a tube once with the tubing tool, show you how this works. If you're a SolidWorks user, you probably have heard of 3D sketches. Well, we're going to use the 3D sketch tool to do this automatically and do all the constraints for you. So you also can save this at different resolutions. So real time if you wanted to, we scanned it about a millimeter, 30 thousandths, but you can change this real time. So let's save this laser data. And we'll just say scan 1. Because you can change this. So if you need to come back and make that laser data tighter, you can. DesignWorks is the only product in the world that can do that. So you can see this has 1.2 million triangles in it. So let's show you how you do a tube once. So we're going to go into DesignWorks Mesh Features. And in here you can identify things. We're going to use the brush painting, and we're going to paint on one side of this. So we're going to identify down here, there's a little straight here. But look how clean the data is. This makes our job much easier. So this is where I'm going to try to get the diameter of it. You only need to paint on the straights of it. So here you can see there's a straight area. We'll come up here, paint on this. And as you can see, it's real time. There's no cleanup or nothing on this. This you scan, this is what you get. It's that good. And over here, there might be a real short straight here. Can't hardly tell. We'll know right away. If you need to get rid of something, you just hold down the control key. So that should be enough. You want to make sure you just don't get on the fillet, but there might be a little straight there. We'll kind of help it a little bit. So by painting just on that straight, you go into the tube tool. It's also going to define what your tube diameter is. So this is 1.75. Notice it went a little bit different decimals. You can change it. If you know the radius, you can put the bends in it, or you can finish it in SolidWorks. I'm not sure I know what they are. In our validation, we could find out. So let's go ahead and say, let's create this. Done. We'll go ahead and hide show the mesh for a second. So you can see the center line. That's a 3D sketch, all constrained. That would take you hours. And it also gives you the path and the curve. So I believe these are 6 inches. I didn't know at the time. Here's what's great. You can go into the profile and dimension if you like, or the center, and say edit sketch. So I kind of think these are 6 inches, but let's take a look. We do have a tool we could go into and actually check those beforehand. But we're trying to do this quick and fast. So maybe they're not 6 inches. I bet they're 3. But the power of SolidWorks, you can change these. Imagine how long it would take you to take those 3D sketches and then try to make them all constrained and come together. It's murder. So that fast, you can modify and change them. So at that point, you could use the surface tool or the solid, it doesn't really matter. And go in here and do a sweep. Solid or, surface, wherever you want. Let's go and do the sweep. There's this, and then your path. Boom. That fast you have your tube. So let's see how accurate it is. We kind of guess at those radiuses. DesignWorks has its own validation. So let's go into the feature to mesh. Let's take a look. We can go back and adjust those radiuses. So you can see the straights are super accurate. We might want to identify a little bit on our radiuses. But you can see it's pinched. So it shows you, a tube bender is going to pinch some. But there you can check your parts real time. You can see how accurate the straights are, because again, we guessed at the radiuses. Down here, we didn't put that in there. But it gives you a heat map that shows you everything you want. You can save your views out to as many views as you want. But the great part is you can adjust it. We can go back in there and adjust those radiuses, and we can do a report. So the report's going to put everything on here. Your image sheet and everything's there. So thanks for joining us this week. Have a great day and tune in for more DesignWorks videos.